spinal stuff work first, and then we'll move into the front body chain and then the back body chain. So come on hands and knees. Quadricep position or quadruped position. And you're gonna keep your navel pulled into your spine, and just keep your chin level with your chest. And then inhale, lift your tail up, slide your shoulder blades down, lift your heart and chin. And then as you exhale, round your back, tuck your tailbone under you, draw your chin to your chest. And then try that 3 more times. So move with your breath. As your tail comes up, your shoulder blades slide down your back, your heart and chin lift. And then as you exhale, round your back, push the floor away from you, and really feel your shoulder blades slide on opposite sides of your body. 2 more, inhale, tail up, shoulder blades down, heart and chin lift. Exhale, round back. Last one, tail up, shoulder blades down, heart and chin lift. And then exhale, round back. Come back to neutral spine. Now reverse your breath this time. So as you exhale, lift your tail, slide your shoulder blades down, lift your heart and your chin. And then as you inhale, this time fill up between the rhomboid, between the shoulder blades into the rhomboid muscles that are between the shoulder blades, round your back. Let's do 2 more like that. Exhaling as you reverse arch your back. And inhaling as you round it. And then 1 more. Exhaling, reverse arch. And inhaling round. All right, we're gonna move into chest. So I'll just tilt this down a little bit. So if you have a set of blocks, you're gonna wanna put them underneath your hands. If you don't have any blocks, don't worry about it. You can just tent your fingers. So you'll just make like tented fingers, like with your fingertips on the ground and your palms lifted off. And you're gonna open them wider, and then you're gonna line up your hands with your chest line. So not up by your ears, right? You don't want to shrug your shoulders up by your ears, which is something that people do a lot when they swim or when they bike, even when they run. So make sure that your shoulders are dropped down, and open your knees wider than the width of your hips, and drop your chest down between your hands. And you can just kind of lift your chin a little bit. Don't really jack your head up. And then as you press up, remember we make a little contraction first. As you press up, squeeze your pec muscles into your midline. And then release. Do that 2 more times. Press up, squeeze pecs into midline. Release. Let's do 1 more. Press up, squeeze pecs into midline. Focus on keeping your pecs pulled in towards your sternum. And then allow your body weight to override that. Drop your body weight down between the hands. Feel the stretch in the chest and into the shoulders. Try that 2 more times. Press up, squeeze pecs into midline. We make a light contraction first, like on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 2. And then drop it back down again. And then 1 more. Press up, squeeze pecs into midline. And then drop it back down again. Make sure your hands are not too high. You might need to slide them a little bit lower down, away from the height of your ears. And then just shift your body weight side to side there. So I'm lightly pressing into the floor with my fingers. My palms are lifted off of the floor, and I'm just switching side to side. Good. Excellent. Release that. Just roll the shoulders a couple of times. We're going to move into your lats and into your shoulders now. So find any comfy spot that you could sit. You can even sit on a chair if you need to, or you can sit on a bolster or a block. So let's do lats first. So the job of the lat is really important for a triathlete, especially when it comes to swimming. So this is the pattern that the lat does in order to create a contraction. Remember, like when you used to do a pull-up, right, in elementary school or in the gym? This is the motion that your arms do in order to make your lats, which are right over here, contract. So let's do 1 arm at a time, okay? So my right arm is going to be doing the work. I pull down, elbow towards my hip. Okay, my left arm is going to provide the resistance, all right? So my left hand is going to reach across to my right wrist. I'm going to raise my arm up, and then this is my pattern that I'm going to do. Elbow pulling down towards the hip. My opposite hand is just slowing it down. And I'll do 2 or 3 of those. Pull down, elbow to hip. Pull down, elbow to hip. And I'm just working on the resistance on the way down. One more time. Pull down, elbow to hip, and then hold there. So there's an isometric phase. There's a pause phase that we do. Elbows pulling down to the hip. Other hand is resisting it on the way out. Now the other hand's going to take over. My left hand is going to pull my arm back up to the starting position so I can feel a stretch through the lat on the right side of my body, this side of my body. Let's try 2 more like that. Pull down, elbow to hip. Make sure you're breathing the whole time. Other arm overrides it. Pull back up. Glue your right hip down and then stretch out of it. Let's do 1 more. Elbow pull down to the hip. And then override. Left arm pulls it back up. This time you could add a little bit of a side bend to it. Good. And then release that. And then again, roll your shoulders. Because oftentimes you'll feel the shoulder tighten up when you're stretching out the lat, because the shoulder is the opposing muscle group. When one muscle gets long, the other muscle has to get short in order for that muscle to get long, just like your quads and your hamstrings are opposing muscle groups. Let's do the other hand. So left arm's gonna go up. Your kinetic pattern again is elbow to hip. Right hand is gonna grab on the wrist. And then again, we're gonna pull down, elbow to hip. Release, we're just working on the contraction right now. Pull down, elbow to hip. Release, let's do 1 more. Pull down, elbow to hip. Hold there, pause there. And now the right hand overrides what the left arm is doing. Right arm pulls it back up to the starting position, making sure that you're not letting your hips move. Pull down, elbow to hip. Right arm pulls it back up. You can add a little bit of a side bend. Let's do 1 more. Elbow pulls all the way down to the hip. Keep the chest open, keep the shoulders dropped. Right arm overrides it, right back up, starting position at a greater side bend. Good. Release that. Roll your shoulders again. And now we'll do the opposing muscle group. We'll do the shoulder. So you have options with your shoulders. I like the kinetic pattern. Of doing this, opening up my arm like a Y, because it really grabs the delt. Okay, that way. You could do it across your chest. You could do it in a bent elbow position, okay? But I like it long. So I'm gonna start with my arm across towards my left hip, and my pattern is gonna be out like this. And I can just feel my delt muscle flexing, contracting when I do that. But I'm gonna add resistance, light resistance, everybody. So left hand's gonna grab across the wrist, and I'm gonna track out, just creating a contraction. Release. Do that 2 more times. Track out. Left arm is just slowing it down. Release. 1 more time. Track out and hold. Okay, focus on that right arm, right shoulder. Left arm is gonna override it. It's gonna pull it back down to the starting position, and it's gonna traction it diagonally down away. So I'm pulling down and away from my right shoulder. Make sure your body stays square. Make sure you don't twist or anything like that. Track out. Feel your right delt contracting or flexing. Override. Pull down. Diagonally down towards the left side. You can add a little bit of a side bend with your left ear to left shoulder. Let's do 1 more like that. Track out. Hold there. Feel the right shoulder contracting. Make sure your brain is feeling what your body's doing. And then override, pull down, traction it away, pull your right arm away, don't twist. Add that side bend. That's gonna grab into your neck muscles, into your trap, everything in there. Good. Release that. Shake it out a little bit, and we'll switch sides. Left arm across, right hand grabs on, and we truck out. I'm just working on the contraction. Release. 2 more times, track out. Release. 1 more time, track out and hold. Focus on that left delt. Override, pull down, back to the starting position. Dropping your left shoulder out of the ear, not twisting your body, pulling that left arm diagonally down towards your right knee. Track out, hold, override, pull down. Drop your right ear a little bit. Allow that stretch in the neck. Last time, track out. Override, pull down. Drop your right ear, right shoulder. Good. Release that, roll the shoulders. Okay, we're gonna come down, we're gonna do abduction of your hips, okay? So you're gonna lay on your side with your knees bent and your feet flexed, okay? Start there. And just lay on your side. If you have a little furry dog, you can lay on your little furry dog. Okay, so important thing is that the feet are flexed and the knees are flexed. Now here's my pattern that I'm doing. I'm always gonna show you the kinetic pattern without the resistance first, because sometimes you might not need the resistance. Like bikers, they're super tight in these hips, okay? So right now, just from doing this motion, I can feel my abducting muscles, the muscles on the outside of my top leg, way up by my hip. I can feel them flex. But if you need resistance, you're just gonna lightly lay your hand at the end of your top thigh. Okay, it doesn't matter which side you're on. I'm on my left side, so I'm working my right leg. Okay, so feet are flexed. Also, I want you to note that when you go to abduct this thing, do not let your knee drop below your foot. Have your knee be higher than your foot, okay? This way you cannot supplement this muscle. This is a weak muscle, and we all want to use our low back to do the job of this, or we want to use the quadricep to do the job of this muscle. We want to isolate this muscle, which is a key thing with Kihara, is that we isolate and we can target, okay? So my top hand is going to rest at the base of my thigh, and I'm going to back out. And I can already feel that hip turn on, which just shows you that my muscles are weak, probably because I haven't used them in a while. Release, come back down, track out again. Make sure that knee is higher than the ankle. Release. 1 more time. You're going to track out and you're going to hold. Now, I feel that outside of my hip turned on. I feel it contracting. If you don't feel it contracting, do some more reps, but make sure that your leg is in the right position. Now we're going to go to stretch it. I'm going to push down on that top leg, okay? And right before my knees meet, I'm going to extend my leg in front of me, and I'm going to physically pull my leg towards the front, okay? As I move my hip slightly towards the back. My body's not really moving, but my hip is sliding back, so I create space in the hip socket. Bend the knee again. Make sure your knee is higher than your ankle. Track out, hold, and then override, push down, extending the leg again before the knees meet. This time, turn your toes towards the floor, so you're internally rotating your leg. Okay? Let's do another one. This will be the last one of this one. Track out, hold. Now, this time you're gonna add a twist, okay? So you're gonna push down, your hands are gonna switch, so you're gonna grab with your lower hand, and then your upper arm is gonna open. You're gonna open up your chest. I want you to look in the opposite direction that your body is facing, pulling that hip behind you as you pull the leg in front of you, and then don't hold your breath, okay? Do not hold your breath at all. Let a nice twist there. Good. Perfect. Yes, rub your big Doberman dog. That's perfect. Good. Awesome. Okay, let's switch sides. And maybe you need to give a little love, just like give a little massage-a-roo to that, because you'll feel that in your glute too. This is one of my favorite stretches to do on people, because when you physically do it on somebody, there's no way they could supplement, and they really, really, really feel that twisting one. Okay, so I got top hand on the leg. I got my feet flexed. I got the knee higher than the ankle, and I'm going to track out. And I'm just working on the contraction. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, we start with, do a couple of reps like that. We start with a contraction in Kihara because we want to bring awareness and blood flow to the muscle that we're stretching. Okay, so, and then we also want to bring tension around it so the tension can help pull the knots apart. Track out again. Release. Let's do one more like this. Track out again. And hold. Focus on the outer hip. Okay, top hand's going to override what the leg is doing. Push that leg back down. Extend the leg in front of you. And then physically grab onto your thigh muscle and pull it in front of you as you move the hip lightly behind you. Whew. Bend the knee. Track out. Remember, not too much resistance. I'm just adding like 2 out of 10. Override, push down, extend the leg, turn the toes towards the floor this time. And I got some big feet, good. And then let's do one more. Track out, hold. This time we're gonna add the twist, override, push down, switch hands on there. Twist open, so now I'm opening to the left. I can't twist because I'm not allowed to twist, whatever, but you guys can twist. Pull your leg in front of you, move your hip behind you. Do not hold your breath. This is a super important time to exhale. Good. Excellent. Release that. Good. We're going to come up onto the knees. We're going to do hip flexor now. So we just did the outer hip. Now we're going to do the front of the hip. So come up on the knees. Okay. So let's do, I'm going to do my right knee down and my left foot forward. And if you have like a block or something to balance with, you might need a block. Okay. So I'm going to have the top of my right foot, let me tilt this down again so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. I'm going to have the top of my right foot on the ground. I padded the knees. If you need to get a pad for your knees, do that. And I got my left knee forward. And I'm just going to start off in a lunge. Okay? So I already feel the stretch in my right hip flexor, but I want to intensify that stretch. So I have to create a contraction first. Now, the job of the hip flexor is to lift the knee towards the chest, doing this motion, okay? So I have to create that pattern. I'm not gonna do that, but I have to create that pattern. So I'm gonna lunge forward in my left knee. I'm gonna push the top of my right foot into the ground, squaring off my hips, keeping my navel pulled in towards my spine. And then in order to create the contraction, I'm gonna create this motion like I'm driving my right knee towards the top of my mat. And when I do that, it shifts my body up to neutral, okay? And then I release, back to the lunge again, and then drive it again. Drive that right knee forward like you're trying to bring the knee to the chest, pushing the top of your right foot into the ground, release. Let's do one more. Drive the right knee forward like you're trying to bring knee to your chest and hold. Now I feel it tight right here on my right side. Now I'm going to go for the stretch. I'm going to use my left foot. I'm going to pull myself back to the starting position, keeping my navel pulled in towards my spine, keeping my tailbone driving down towards the ground. Do that 2 more times. Drive the right knee forward. It shifts you back to neutral. Hold. Now use your left foot to pull yourself back to the starting position. You can plant the hands on your left thigh. You can lift your heart lightly out of that. And then let's do one more. Drive the right knee forward so you're releasing with what your left foot was doing. Left foot now takes over. pull yourself back forward into the lunge. And then this time, reach your right arm, if your right leg is the one behind you, over your right ear. Really stretch out of that. Good. Release that. Spin your lower leg in, that lower back leg in, and let's do the inner thigh. Lunge forward into your left knee. Now you've externally rotated your hips, you're long in the groin. Drive the inside of your knee forward, so that's your adductor. Tap the inside of your thigh, feel the contraction lightly there, and now let's go right into the stretch. Use your left foot, pull yourself back forward into the lunge. Drive the inside of the knee forward, hold. Use your left foot, pull yourself back forward, and then let's add some more. Place the left arm on the inside of the knee and reach the right arm over your ear. And this whole right chain is opening. Good. Alrighty, we're gonna switch sides. We're gonna do your left knee down, or whichever leg you didn't do, and your other foot forward. Lunge forward into that forward knee. Feel a light stretch through the hip flexor, the front of your other hip, and then push the top of that foot into the ground and drive the knee forward. It's going to shift your body up to neutral. Release. Let's do two more. Drive the hip forward. Oftentimes we think, oh, my hips are so tight, they're so strong. No, oftentimes our hip flexors are tight and they're weak because we spend most of the day in a sitting position. Drive that knee forward, hold. Now use your forward leg, pull yourself back forward into the lunge. Whew. Drive the knee forward, hold. Use your front foot, pull yourself back forward into the lunge. Plant the hands on that thigh, start to lift your sternum up out of it, lift your gaze out of it. Let's do one more. Drive it forward, hold, and then use that forward foot, pull yourself back forward into the lunge. Right hand down or other hand down, reach your hand to the leg that's behind you up and over the ear. And make sure you're breathing. Good. Excellent. Release that. All right, we are going to come on to our backs. We're going to do a little bit, I'm not sure the stretch that Aaron did with you for hamstrings, but we'll do a little bit more intensive hamstring, and we're going to do glutes. And then we're going to come back to the front chain into the quads, okay? So here's where you might need a strap. So get a strap or a towel that you can reach your foot. Okie doke. And if you want to have a little pillow underneath your head, that's a great idea too. I'm actually going to put a whole bolster underneath my spine. So you can do anything you want to like prop yourself up, okay? Now, the key thing here is that you want your butt to remain on the ground. That's key, okay? So don't lift your butt up out of it, all right? So you're going to put the strap on the arch of your foot, okay? Arch of your foot. And I'd like for you to choke up on the strap as you know, as much as you can. Try not to have the strap like way down towards your chest. Move your hands up towards it. Now, my opposite leg is bent, so that helps keep my butt on the ground. Okay, now, the key thing here with this stretch is that you're not pulling down towards your chest. You're actually gonna pull in an arc over your head, okay? So that's where the resistance is. It's pulling over my head. And I'm gonna create a contraction in the back of my right thigh. The way that I do that is this pattern. My hands are resisting. My leg, my heel, is gonna pull down towards my butt. And as I do that, I'm gonna lift my head up off the ground. So my arms have room to travel. Heel all the way down to your butt. And then just release back up, no resistance. Okay, on the way up. Try that 2 more times. Pull, lift your head up off the mat, heel towards your bum. Release. Let's do two more. Let's do one more. Heel pulls down towards your bum and hold. Okay, now we're going to go into the stretch phase. Okay, so my heel's still pulling down towards the bum. My hands are going to override that. And it's going to pull it back up to the starting position and over my head. I'm pulling over my head. Don't yank, don't bounce, don't pull too hard than what your leg is willing to do. Try the contraction. Heel pulls down towards the bum, extending your arms, lifting your head up off the block. And then override, pull back up, glue your tailbone down, pull over your head. Woo! Good. Let's do one more like that. Pull, heel down towards the bum, override, pull back up, extend the arms, glue your tailbone down, and stretch out of it. Good. Excellent. Release that. Now, take the straps in your left hand. We're going to do your IT band. You can lower your other leg down, okay? So I'm holding the strap in my left hand. I'm going to lightly pull the leg right across my midline, okay? My butt's not coming off the ground. I still have my sacrum touching the ground. Resistance is in my left hand. I'm going to track my right leg to the right. And then I'm going to override and pull that back to the left. So I'm overriding what the leg was doing to begin with. Ready? Track to the right, resisting with your left hand on the strap. And then override, pull back to the left. Glue your sacrum down to the mat. Let's do one more. Track to the right. Now this time, take your right thumb, bring it into your hip crease, and grab onto your thigh muscle and turn it outward, okay? So in this case, you're turning it counterclockwise as you pull your right leg across to the left. And if you want, you can internally rotate your foot there, turning it inward, supinating it. That's going to add a little bit more intensity. Don't let your bum come off the ground. And make sure you breathe. Okay. Release that. And lower your other leg. See if maybe your legs feel different already. And then reach your left leg up. Strap on the arch of the foot. We're going to do left hamstring now. Grab on. Remember that you're pulling it apart over your head. Okay, that you're not bringing your hands towards your chest. Okay, over your head. Ready? Heel down towards your bum. Lift your head up off the ground. Release. Do two more. You can work at a little bit faster pace once you understand the pattern. Release. One more time. Pull, heel down towards your bum and hold. Okay? Now the arms are going to override that. Arms are going to pull it back up to the starting position and then an arc over your head, pinning your butt down to the mat. Pull, heel down towards your bum. Override. Pull back up. Extending. Let's do one more. Heel pulls down towards the bum. Lift your head up off the mat. Override. Bring it back up. Pin your butt towards the ground, arcing over your head. And you should feel that straight up the back of your thigh. Maybe closer to your knee if your calves are tight. Maybe higher up towards your bum if the upper part of your hamstring is tighter. Good. Release that. Extend the leg. Going into the IT band now, lateral quad, lateral hamstring. Keep your butt on the ground. Just pull the leg across the midline. You'll already feel a stretch to that area there. Now, track the left leg to the left, resisting with the right hand, and then pull it right back across. Just across midline. track to the left, override, pull back to the right. Last time, track to the left. Now stick your left thumb in that left hip crease. Turn your upper thigh bone outward as you pull the leg across. And then internally rotate or turn your foot in. Supinate your foot. Turn it in. Yeah, it's tight in there. I hear you. Trust me. It's amazing from doing inactivity how tight your body gets. Good. Release that. Excellent. All right, we're going to do quads now. You're going to need something like a wall or a couch or something that can provide you resistance, and you might need a towel or something to pad your knee, okay? All righty. So I'm going to start with my right knee down purely for the sake of you could see it better. Generally, I like to start with the leg that's less tight, but in this case, I'll just start with my right leg. So I'm going to slide my right knee all the way back to that surface, okay? So it goes all the way back to the surface, and my left knee is going to go forward. Now, I'll tell you, if this is already enough for you, you could get a nice resistance stretch just doing this with both knees on the ground, okay? But if you want to go for the full Monty, then you're going to put your left foot forward, and this is the position that you end up in. Okay, now you'll notice my right heel is nowhere near my butt. I don't want yours to become near your butt. So don't jam your butt back to your heel. Okay, so you're going to lunge forward into your left knee, and you're going to push your right foot into the wall or the sofa or a resistance ball, whatever you have, in order to create a contraction in your thigh, in the center of your thigh, hopefully. If you have pain in your knee, you have too much pressure on, okay? So don't do that. Push your right foot into there, and then shift your body weight back. Notice how my upper body goes with my lower body. I'm not hunched over my leg. Upper body goes with the lower body until I feel a stretch in the thigh. Lunge forward, releasing that. Push the back foot into the wall or the couch, and then shift your body back. Woo. Let's do two more. Lunge forward, lightly push into the wall. You might not need any resistance at all. And then shift back. Last one, lunge forward, lightly push into the wall, and then shift back. Now, if you want to add more, like we did with the hip flexor, you can plant, you can lift your heart up out of it. You can also left hand down and then bring that same arm up and over the ear. This is a stretch that you could do every day. All of these stretches that I'm showing you, you could do every day, okay? You're never gonna overstretch your quads. Trust me, if you're a triathlete and you're training with Aaron, you're never gonna overstretch your quads. All right, other leg back. Now, one thing I wanna note, because you might have seen what my left foot just did, my left foot started to sickle in, turning in. Make sure it's nice and straight, okay? Other foot forward. Lunge forward. Lightly push into that wall or resistance, and then shift back. I only go back like an inch or two. That's plenty in order for me to feel the stretch in the quad. I want it to stay in the center of my thigh. I don't want it to go towards the knee. That's just the attachments. That's the skinny tissue that you don't want to overstretch, or you don't want to stretch to begin with. You want it to have a lot of tenacity in it. Push into the wall and then shift back. Let's do two more. Lunge forward, push into the wall, and then shift back. Last one, lunge forward, push into the wall, and then shift back. This time, plant the hands on the thigh. You can lift your heart up out of it. You can also make your left arm low and your right arm up and over the ear. Good. Excellent. Woo! That's an intense one. Release that. Good. Find anything comfy to sit on. We're going to do your neck and your scalenes. Well, that's part of your neck. Your traps, I mean. Okay, so important with your neck. You don't need any resistance with your neck. Your neck is already tight. Don't worry about adding too much weight to it, okay? So you can just do it with movement. If you feel like you're not getting a stretch, then you could add a little bit of pressure, okay? So let's start with the right side. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder. Just lightly feel that stretch. And then if you need more, take your right arm and sweep behind you. And if you need more than that, you can reach your left arm over. I'm not really pulling. I'm just allowing the weight of my left hand. It's kind of bisecting my right ear. My fingers are. I'm just allowing the weight of my left hand to add a little bit more oomph to it. Good. Release that. Turn your head towards your left shoulder. Drop your chin and try that same thing again. You can add a little bit more, pulling your arm across kind of the back right corner of your head. Good. Release that. Release your right arm. Switch sides, right ear towards the right shoulder. If I need more, I'm going to sweep my left arm behind me. If I need more than that, I'm going to reach my right arm over. Not really yanking, just the weight of my right arm. Release that. Turn your head towards your right shoulder. Drop your chin again. And then again, if you want to add the right arm, reach up and over, kind of towards the back corner of your head this time. Good. Release that. Roll your shoulders. Good. Drop your chin to your chest. Underneath your clavicle, the bone that spans your shoulder blades, or shoulders, excuse me, you're going to find tissue underneath there. So dig in with your fingers on that tissue underneath the clavicle. Push in and then pull down like you're trying to bring your chest muscles down to your belly. Your chin is towards your chest. And now, as you pull down, lift your chin the other way. Lift your chin up. Now, this might feel rippy, burny, tingly in there. That's because this connective tissue, this fascia, is very shallow. That's okay. Just don't overdo it. Lift up, chin up, and then open your jaw super wide, and then bring your lower jaw to meet your upper jaw. Do that like 2 or 3 times. Lower jaw, upper jaw. This is like natural Botox for your neck. It's great. Woohoo! Because all those places are closed right now, right? No, I'm just joking. Okay, release that. Last one, and then I'm happy to take questions. Hands behind the head. Interlace the hands lightly. Push the back of your head into your hands. So that's going to flex the muscles in your upper back and into the back of your neck, okay? And then override, pull down, chin to chest. Woo. Drop your shoulders. I know those of you that are hiking your shoulders, drop them. And then bring the tips of your elbows to meet each other. Keep the shoulders down. Don't yank too hard on your head. Good. Excellent. Release that. Roll your shoulders.
So good.
All right. So that is Kihara in a 40-minute, I apologize again, nutshell. But I don't know, Erin, do you have any extra time? Can people pose any questions? Or I'm happy to do this again. I promise you I'll set like 5 alarms.
Yeah, does anybody have a question? I mean, I would definitely want to record a whole hour so we can have it for,
yes,
for future reference, but does anybody have any question? You can unmute yourself.
Unmute.
Or give any feedback. Did you like it? Thumbs up.
Sweet.
Okay, so let's just plan on doing another hour,
Yes.
and I'll come and knock on your door to make sure you show up.
No. I'll be awake. I realize what happened on the phone. Except for Friday. I don't know why. Anyways.
All right, you guys, have an awesome day. I hope you feel nice and long and loose. And we will revisit this. Have a great week. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the track.
Drink lots of water.
Yeah, lots of water. Thanks, Meredith. Bye.
You, bye. Sorry again.